So originally I was going to make a complete rundown video over the video that was uploaded yesterday by BioWare, and it was the Characters and Profiles series, or the whole video segments that they're trying to show, and just basically show off Mass Effect Andromeda and its gameplay, because we've really lacked the gameplay that we should have been getting months ago, but now we're starting to get it because Mass Effect Andromeda is about to be released in a couple of weeks. But I'm extremely concerned about Mass Effect Andromeda, more specifically about the AI. Now be aware this video isn't a shitpost about Mass Effect Andromeda or anything of that sort. It's just mainly to point out some of my concerns about the AI, and as a Mass Effect fan myself, I find this concerning. The AIs don't really have that much intelligence behind them. Maybe the difficulty that the person's playing on is at like baby level or something, but I don't really understand what's going on. The AIs are just stupid. But we're gonna go ahead and start at the segment where you're fighting a fiend, and the fiend is just acting absolutely stupid. Like, just retarded. I'll just be honest. It's retarded. Here's an Anointed, by the way. It's one of these tall tank dudes that basically soak up damage, and they just stand in the middle of the open and get killed. It's a great enemy in the fact that they're easy to kill. Let's just be honest. So take them out. Here's Cora Harper. She's standing in the middle of the open getting shot by literally everybody. She's not really aware of taking cover. It's not even in her code book to take cover, apparently. Look at that. Not even taking cover until probably now when you don't even see her. But here's the fiend. He's coming up. He's such a sluggish character, ain't he? He's just not really aware of what's going on, it doesn't look like. But he's aware enough to know that he gets to take you out. So he slowly crawls up while you can run away. You're making a getaway, right? Let's go back a little bit. Here's Drock, by the way. Drock is right here. This is one of your squad mates. He's a Krogan. Here's a cat, and here's an Anointed, which is basically a bigger cat that pretty much takes no cover whatsoever. But if you notice, none of them are taking cover while you're taking cover. Like, I don't understand it, because realistically, in a way, you would probably want to see AIs taking cover even when you're taking cover, and not all being close together to make it really easy for you to kill them, because literally you could just focus at one specific area and kill them all instead of being spread out across, making it more difficult and more challenging. Instead, they're all really close, and they're not even behind cover. They're just standing in the middle of the open, allowing you to absolutely take them out quickly. Like, what's the point of that? That's stupid. The AIs really aren't even aware. The Anointed, you literally jump over him. He doesn't even see what happened to him until like right about now. Oh, now he turns around. Then the Anointed shoots at you. He's aware of what's going on. The other cat doesn't do shit. Look at the fiend right here. He's not even... the fiend just literally stood there at the same spot literally the entire time he did that jump. This cat, he was originally aware that you were behind him, and he didn't even know what was going on. He decides to run backwards, not even aware that you were there, even though he was just aware, and he literally just allows you to kill him. This Anointed right here finally turns around because of all the aggro, and then he finally starts to shoot, but it's like really fucking too late. The fiend eventually figures out that, oh shit, everybody's dying, time to walk down the stairs and get back into the fight.
It looks like the fiend is taking an interest.
No, the fiend's not interested. The fiend is just stupidly programmed. Look, he's now just aware of what's going on. He's too sluggish, by the way. Look at that. He's just standing there getting shot. It's so... this is actually cringe. He decides to roar because... I don't know. The fiend finally starts to run, which is pretty smart. You know, he's starting to get in the game. He's starting to get that stamina back. The fiend attempts to come back this way, and I guess has short-term memory and decides to come back over here because let's walk into enemy fire again, I guess. It just stands there, gets shot. And then it comes around and hits you. So really it's just player fault at this point, because the player realizes that the Anointed can't do jack shit to you. No matter what you can do, you can absolutely outrun it, and it's also not really aware of its surroundings that much. It's absolutely atrocious.
Looks like the fiend has other plans.
Oh, looks like the fiend has other plans. Why did it turn around instead of freaking focusing on you? Look how stupid the fiend is. Look at that. Runs away. Oh, and it can run now. Look at that. Look at that. Turns around. What is he doing? Nothing. Look at that. At this point, it just gives up, and I can't blame it. The programming, the code behind the AI of the fiend is atrocious. It finally gets killed, and it's like, wow, you just killed the boss. But in reality, it was the most fucking baby shit I've seen. That was really easy. That wasn't even a challenge. like honestly, and this was probably playing on the easiest level you can. So I hope that AIs are much more intelligent if you play on higher difficulties, but I'm not done here. I'm actually going to go back and look at the combat series footage that was uploaded before this video, as well as going back to the 4K gameplay trailer that had a little bit of combat footage too. And I'll just show you that even though the Fiend looks stupid and the Anointed and the Ket also look stupid too, this scene isn't just the only one. There's several other AI scenes that aren't even the same race, for example, so it just shows that the AI in general has been dumbed down. So here is the very beginning of the video where you get to see your guy melee a raider. The raider doesn't actually shoot you a single time. Even though he's aiming at you, he's aware that you're about to fucking stab him. He just stands there instead of the normal, human body reflex of, hey, I'm about to be stabbed. Something's quickly rushing me. Let me take a step back. Let me attempt to dodge. Let me attempt to do something. No, the AI just stands there and lets you kill him. Look how amazing that physics was. Look, and he just stands there. He lets you kill him, literally. He just gives up on life. The raider in this scene too. It's the same thing. The raider actually does back up. It takes like one step back. It's like a baby ass step. Doesn't shoot you either, and it also gets killed. You get these two guys. They're just standing next to each other. They don't shoot at you a single time when you're up in midair about to do a Nova charge at them. They get absolutely hammered. I really don't understand why they're so close to each other. Like, you're gonna see this a lot, and essentially the AIs are always close to each other. They're not trying to separate themselves and make it harder for you to focus on them because they're in several different distinguished places. Instead, they're all grouped together, making it fairly simple to literally just throw a grenade next to them and they're all dead. There's no challenge behind that, and there's also not a lot of programming behind the AI in general. Like, it's really bad. So yeah, I'll give that scene to them, but you're gonna notice that it's a very common trait. Everybody seems to just clunk up together and whatever. Here we get to see the big beast that looks badass and shit, but doesn't actually do shit. Look at that. So he doesn't hit you because you dodged. And then here's the part that really just, again, triggers me. You hit him, right? He doesn't seem to be aware that you just did that, and he just stands there for that second, even though a split second later you're backed up, and then he roars, and he stands there after shooting him. He just roars. He stands there, right? And you can tell that maybe the Fiend that just continued to sat there. He just continued sitting there, and so they were like, well, we should probably not show this part. Let's go ahead and cut the footage, because right after it changes right here, and in this scene you're going to see a Ket. He's really just standing on the edge up here. He doesn't shoot at you once during the whole part until you use your jetpack and glide in midair. And that's when everybody starts shooting at you, apparently. I don't know why. He's aware of you, by the way. He's actually looking at you. Look at that. Now he's shooting. Why didn't he shoot before? What was that? He just watched you? He just looked at you? And he was looking at you. Like, he was aggroed on you. And he just sat there. Here's two raiders right here. One of them's behind cover, doing probably the smart thing. This raider right here is going to run over to like this barricade, I guess you call it, the shield, and he jumps over it twice in the middle of you fleeing backwards. And by the way, they don't even attempt to shoot at you while you flee. Jumps right over here, then he jumps over again. I really don't get that. That just gets to me, honestly. I think the best thing he could have done was actually attempt to run away from the field of view of your character, like over here behind the truck. The other AI just literally sat there. He's actually right here, and he doesn't do anything. He literally just watches you flee. Yeah, look at that. Until you shoot, he pops out, and that's when he shoots. Again, they're clunked together, making it really easy for you to kill them, like in a really fast-paced amount of time. In this scene, you have the AI right here. He's standing there on top of a fire. I guess he's trying to get warm in a really hot heat hazard environment, just trying to get a little warm. I guess maybe AIs are just not aware of you that well. Their perception is balls. Look at that. He doesn't do anything until you attempt to frost him to death. And it's already too late at that point. He doesn't do anything. And that's just, what the hell? What was the whole point? Why even give yourself the opportunity to get flanked if you could potentially shoot the person flanking you because you're in midair? And of course, if everything was realistic, then we obviously couldn't play a game like this. I get it. But at least make it challenging in a way, because this is baby stuff, literally. Like, this guy's like taking his first baby steps, basically. This scene really gets to me. It really just shows how stupid the AI is again. They will stand still and take damage and do absolutely nothing. There's really no reaction behind it. And by the way, before I start this segment, your character's shooting at him the entire time. There's also several enemies behind. You get shot by one like somewhere over here, but this guy doesn't even try to attempt that shooting at you like at all. He just stands there. There's also a guy with a laser sniper rifle over here. Don't worry about it. When you shoot at this guy, you're gonna see sparks fly out because you're hitting his armor, but those sparks are not like him shooting at you. There's no shooting at all with this Rocketeer guy. He does absolutely nothing. Just watch.
All guns are available to every player. There are no class restrictions. So if you decide you want to try something new, it's as easy as switching your loadout.
It's also as easy as shooting them in the fucking head. They just literally just stand there and give it to you. It's so stupid. God, I can't believe they narrated this and acted like this was normal. Of course, it's also really deceiving because we're more focused about what they're trying to talk about. The narrating, that's the whole point. It's to deceive you from seeing some of the BS that they're showing in the gameplay footage. And it's really bad. I'm not liking this. It's when you really put some emphasis on the AI, it's absolutely atrocious. Now here's like a little glitch, I guess. Maybe it's just a bug or it's a glitch. I'm not gonna really focus on it. But what I really hate is that Cora and Costa, they have no helmets in a heat hazard environment, where you need life support. You need to wear something. They have no helmets on. What the hell? It's a heat hazard. That means there's like super ultraviolet rays that have intense heat, and it could do damage to your skin. Skin cancer kind of shit. Sunburns. Usually a large amount of heat or ultraviolet rays also do something with a bit of radiation. Maybe not poisoning, but still, it's not good for your skin. Maybe the environment's also not really breathable in a way for like humans. That is. That's why you're also on life support. So maybe the suit's also providing oxygen to you in a contained environment in addition to controlling your body temperature. But look at these guys. You still got Costa in his little cargo suit. Like really, it's not even like real armor like yours. He's just in like his casual jumpsuit kind of stuff. Cora is basically essentially in the same thing in her like little latex suit. It's not even anything. Both of them don't even have helmets on. These guys, again, you're gonna see AI stand still and they're always clunked next to each other. Basically, your teammates are like shooting at these guys from the side, and here you come, you're gonna flank them and take these guys out. None of them are even aware of what's even going on, really. They're aggroed on your squad mates, and the funny thing is that before, he didn't even look at you. They weren't even aware that you were coming next to them and about to flank them. And then here, he looks at you, right during the second you shoot him, he turns immediately. Like, what the fuck is that? And he shoots at, like, I think your squad mate or something like that. The other AI didn't even notice you. This AI is just staring at a fucking wall, not doing anything. And then you killed them both. This AI right here is still not even aware that his teammates are getting absolutely bludgeoned by a shotgun right behind him. Also, what's stupid too is, this is more on an attention to detail kind of stuff, but this is the AI sniper. He's shooting over here. Here's his teammate standing right in front of his barrel, and he walks into it too. He just walks into it. What I'm trying to point out here is that there's a lack of attention to detail, and enemies are really just not observant of their surroundings. They're not aware that there's cover next to them that they could use. They're just always standing in open, and when they do use cover, they're fucking using it the wrong way. They're just staring at shit, not even wondering what's going on around them. They're just oblivious to the fact that they're being flanked or anything of that notion. Here's an AI. You literally shoot him with the most inaccurate gun ever, and you don't really do much damage, and he's just standing there and just watching you. Here's another anointed, and again, they're so stupid. They just stand there and they just allow you to kill them in the middle of the open. I can get that if they're some kind of strong tank character that soaks in so much damage, then I can understand why they would be walking in the middle of a battlefield and just getting absolutely hammered by everything, but still surviving. And this is where I think that they're playing on some really low ass difficulty, but still the AI behind it, it's kind of dumb. This guy, the Destined, he's actually cloaked. You don't see him. He'll pop up right here. But again, like I've pointed out several times already, enemies just love to clunk up next to each other and make it really fucking easy for you to kill them. You kill this dude, whatever. You don't really see what happens, so you can't say if he's a stupid AI or whatever. But this guy popping up on the right, I guess he's not aware that there's a fucking laser going through his head, right? He can't even see that. Can't contemplate that there's a laser going through his head. He's just gonna stand there and give it to you. Again, what kind of AI is that? That's Play-Doh for a brain. Seriously, that's just Play-Doh for a brain. Again, these guys, they're not even aware that there's anything going on. This scene, you have, I think maybe it's a fiend pinning down like a human or something like that, and he's just running towards it. But again, I'm also not surprised if the fiend is also absolutely stupid and he doesn't even know what's going on. And be aware that there's 3 enemy bars. One, which is this dude, one right here, which is the fiend, and another one that's chilling out somewhere that you actually don't ever see. So if there's an enemy in front of this fiend, we would probably see his little bar sticking out somewhere, but you don't, like, at all. You take him out, look, the bar goes out for this guy. This guy didn't even know what's going on. He wasn't even aware that you were about to flank him. Whatever. This dude, you don't see him yet, but here's the fiend walking into a wall, and he just fucking headbutts it as if like the wall is his enemy when he doesn't even understand that he's being shot at. Triggers me, really. In this scene, you're cloaked, and so I'll give the benefit of the doubt that these guys weren't aware that you're about to just pop up and melee them. But still, you can clearly see that this cat right here, he's actually shooting at your squad mates from behind. But then this cat right here, he's just oblivious to the fact that you gotta take cover because he's literally in open fire. And then he also turns around, not shooting whatsoever. But the next scene that pops up, again, it's kind of like, what the hell? Here's a cat in the middle of an open field. He literally just stands there and does nothing. Here's your character just, not even aware. Like, why should I even shoot? I'll just melee you. And so here's what happens.
Maximum speed and precision.
The cat stands there, doesn't even dodge, doesn't even flinch, nothing. He just shoots at you and he accepts his fate. Again, it's just lazy AI. Literally, it's just a lazy AI. When I say lazy AI, I also mean that it's just lazy programming because the AI doesn't make its own code. The BioWare developer team does. They do the coding and the AI is just an example of their work. And you can tell that they spent too much time on this game, polishing it up and making it look beautiful, but it's almost like a really hot, beautiful blonde chick, but really dumb, not even aware of what's going on in her environment and whatever. This is essentially what Mass Effect Andromeda's AIs look like. They look like absolute beasts, they look cool, they look badass, but at the end of the day, they have Play-Doh for brains. Here's a scene where you have a sharpshooter that's being flamed to death.
Flamethrower give you more offensive punch.
And I guess it's smart in the way that it's actually running away, trying to get out of the fire. It's probably the most smartest thing you see. But then you got this guy. He's on the right over here. He's doing absolutely nothing. He even looks at you for a split second. He's aware that you're barbecuing his steak. And then he just takes cover. What is air going to do to help you at this point? What's the cover going to do? He doesn't do anything, by the way. You eventually burn this dude to death and he just sits there, smelling the flames. We get a raider right here. Essentially, he could literally just walk a couple of steps and go into cover, but instead he just stands there, I guess.
While skills like invasion,
he doesn't do anything, and he literally just allows himself to get killed by your grenades. And this is where it's kind of like back in the trilogy in Mass Effect 3, you had characters like Cerberus, and usually you see it with Centurions. Whenever you threw some kind of biotic ranged attack or whatever, usually there's a chance where they'll actually try to attempt to dodge it, and most of the time they actually do. They dodge it. They do like a simple side roll and they dodge your ranged attack. But I'm not seeing any of that here. I'm just seeing AIs standing there giving it to you, and it's kind of like, what the hell? Here's an observer. By the way, there's 3 right over here. They're literally just standing there. They didn't do anything. The observer here doesn't even do a single thing, which I assume it's just kind of like wondering what's even going on after you hit it, but still it's unaware of its surroundings. In this scene, again, the guy doesn't even realize what's happening. You grab him. I don't know if maybe hitting that box in his head made him unconscious or whatever, but he's moving around like he is kind of aware of, the gist of what's going down. And for some reason, people don't even shoot at you either when you're holding him in midair. And to double that, this guy, if he is conscious and aware of what's going on, why doesn't he simply move his gun up and just shoot you in the head? He just allows you to basically hold him in midair. He accepts the fate of what's going to happen to him. Here's an enemy that will just rush you out of nowhere. He doesn't even shoot you, by the way. You get shot from somewhere on the left of you, but he actually just rushes you but doesn't actually do anything, and then you just take him out. A group of enemies, again, they're standing still, not really knowing what the hell's going on until you actually attack them. That's when everybody turns around and shoot at you, but still they're all clunked up together, making it really freaking easy to kill them. So all you have to do is just use singularity and then just flame them to death.
You'll notice that different enemies each behave in unique ways. Some will keep their distance and try to snipe us. Others will charge right in and try to flush us out of cover.
In this scene, it's kind of ironic, but you hear how the narrator says, hey, the enemies will use specific tactics that COD children would probably use. Some will keep their distance and try to snipe you, and then others will just run in front of you and suicide. Literally, they'll just commit suicide because trying to kill you, there's no tactic to it. It's just stupid. And apparently it's called flushing your enemies out.
Others will charge right in and try to flush us out of cover.
There's a difference between flanking your enemies and actually pinning them down and just blatantly running in front of them and just absolutely giving it to them, really. You're just making it really fucking easy for you to kill them. And then last but not least, let's go ahead and look at the 4K gameplay trailer real quick. Here's a scene where you do a biotic charge. You hit the character in front of you, and by the way, the sharpshooter just stands there, doesn't do a single thing. This creature attempts to do something, but also eventually just stands there. They don't do a single thing. Everybody else is trying to hit you, yeah, but the guys in front of you are just like oblivious to the fact that you just hit them with a biotic charge, and they can obviously just shoot you point blank, but they don't. I don't know. In this scene, we see a bunch of enemies go through a door. When they open it, you use like this shield thing that they can't shoot you through, but then they're all oblivious to the fact that you're about to flame them to death, and they just stand there. And it's funny because you actually spend a second shooting at this Turian right here, but these guys, they just watch you. They don't even shoot a single time, even when you flame them to death. But in this scene, this guy is being flamed to death, and he just stands there and accepts his fate. It's really just a common pattern. It's just standing still. This is probably the smartest AI I've freaking seen. This cat is attempting to shoot at you and running away because it realizes that you're getting really close to him, to the point to where you're probably going to melee him. So you do like a little teleport and you punch, but he's actually trying to attempt to run away from you. That's probably the smartest AI I've actually seen so far. And so that's it. There's probably a bit more footage I can actually talk about. Now apparently I've heard that the BioWare team is going to drop a huge massive day one patch to fix a lot of issues and problems that people or reviewers have been talking about, you know, people that actually played the game already, just to get a little taste for it and make their review about it. But I don't know, this is kind of sketchy. We really don't know, because they can say they're going to have a massive day one patch, but does it mean they're going to patch the AI and make them actually challenging, smart, you know, at least some kind of intelligence with their Play-Doh brains already? I don't know, we'll have to see, but this is very concerning. And I know this video is extremely long, but I'm trying to make a point here, guys. The AI is concerning, and Mass Effect Andromeda is going to be coming out in a couple of weeks, and we're just now getting this footage with AIs that are concerning. That in general is a huge extreme concern. So without further ado, that's the end of the video. If you got triggered by it and you want to dislike it because you feel like you got to defend BioWare because you're some kind of bio drone who also sugarcoats this kind of shit, just know that I'm also a big Mass Effect fan and I really like the whole franchise in general, but I'm not going to sugarcoat this bullshit. There are things that AAA companies should be great at doing, but stuff like this where the AIs are really dumb and unchallenging and there's Play-Doh for brains and there's not enough attention to detail of how real tactics should be used, especially by aliens that should have at least some kind of intelligence. I mean, at least you're trying to simulate reality a bit, you know, intelligent aliens. You're not seeing that from BioWare. At least that's what the gameplay footage appears like. We actually haven't seen the official gameplay footage, you know, in terms to what the game looks like when it actually is released, because the game's already finished. They're probably just doing patches and whatnot, waiting for day one, and maybe the big huge patch is already finished. They're just waiting for the game to be released. It's just the whole marketing campaign part. Maybe that's just what's going on, but still, it's concerning. It really is. So anyways, if you liked the video, make sure to hit that like button, and if you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button because you're missing out on some good stuff. And I'm also not an EA shill that's going to give you 10 reasons why you should buy Mass Effect Andromeda, because that's just fucking stupid, and that's also a lot of assumptions assuming that the game is going to be great, which we really don't fucking know. But anyhow, it's been yours truly, The Proper Bloke, and hopefully I'll be seeing you on the next one.